11N.
I move to authorize the approval of a stipulated agreement between the Town of Watertown and Amcraft Packaging for a tax assessment appeal. In lieu of any refunds, a reduction in property taxes. As a result of this deduction, and the assessment will be applied to a credit, beginning with the next immediate tax payment that becomes due.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any additional discussions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Next on the agenda is public comment. If anyone would like to address the town council, please come forward, state your name and address, and 5 minutes.
Al Mickle, 95 Woodbine Avenue. I'm here to discuss public participation, comment, I'm sorry. I get that confused a lot. Having it after executive session is sort of tiring. I like the ability to comment, but generally speaking, executive session is at the end of the meetings. Everybody is asleep by then, going home. If you could put it before executive session, that would allow people to be able to comment and other people to understand what's going on in the town. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Catherine Dinsmore, 35 Reynolds in Watertown. At the last council meeting, the vice chair stated that some people are spreading false information regarding the payment of water and sewer and fire district arrearages and, quote, are hurting the town, not us as individuals, because we know the truth. May I remind the council, on August 2nd, the town manager issued a press release that stated, quote, under the current ruling, the Watertown water and sewer customers will be held accountable for their water and sewer rate increases and arrearages. Similarly, fire district customers will be responsible for their arrearages related to sewer services. Doesn't this statement infer that we will receive a bill for our arrears? On August 21st, a list of questions was presented to the council. Of course, the questions were not answered. However, the vice chair asked for a copy of these questions. We were told that at a public forum on September 7th, the council and members of the Water and Sewer Authority would answer the public's questions. We were not allowed to hear from our elected officials or members of the Water and Sewer Authority because, according to the town manager, you would be violating FOIA laws. And secondly, he said you couldn't speak because this wasn't a meeting. Based on those two reasons, a representative from the state's FOIA division told me, one, it didn't appear that there would be any FOIA laws violated if council members answered questions from the public. Two, there doesn't seem to be any logic behind those reasons. Three, this didn't make any sense. Four, the council wasn't there to conduct business. And five, the council can participate in a public forum. If, as the vice chair said, quote, we know the truth, then why didn't you share it that night, or at least immediately after that meeting, which was falsely advertised to the public? On September 18th, 1 month after you first received questions from the public, the town manager answered some of the questions. There still are questions that haven't been addressed. For example, if the bond is issued to pay the settlement, will there be a surcharge attached to everyone's bill for decades? And how much will that surcharge be? When the bond is paid off, will ratepayers end up paying more than what their calculated personal arrears would have been? You may think that asking those questions is speculating, spreading misinformation, and doing a disservice to the town. I say they are legitimate questions that any resident has the right to ask and have the expectation that they be answered quickly and honestly. The fundamentals of crisis communications teach that if an organization with a major issue that impacts the public does not immediately and accurately answer questions from the public, the message that organization is perceived to be sending is that it is either hiding something, avoiding criticism, or evading responsibility. Without timely answers to questions, your constituents will continue to publicly pose more questions, like the ones I just asked about a possible surcharge on bills. It appears that seeking answers from the town council is viewed as a subversive activity aimed at, quote, hurting the town, unquote. Do residents asking questions hurt the town, or do public officials not being forthcoming with answers hurt the town?
Next.
Richard Rosansky, 35 Reynolds Street. At the September 18th Town Council meeting, Councilmember Ryan asked if a public vote had ever been taken on the water and sewer dispute with Waterbury. Vice Chair Rosa immediately stated that Waterbury sued us and that there was no need to take a public vote to defend ourselves in the suit. The better question to ask would have been, was there ever a public vote taken to continue paying Waterbury at the 2018 rate after the contract expired on July 1st, 2018? On July 16th, 2018, the Town Council met in executive session to discuss the dispute. 3 members of the current Town Council were present in that meeting: Anthony DeBona, Jonathan Ramsey, and Marianne Rosa. We do not know what was discussed in that meeting. No minutes were taken. There was no public vote taken after that executive session. However, 2 weeks later, someone in accounts payable marked up the July Waterbury water and sewer invoice to recompute the bill at the 2018 rate, a practice that has continued to this day. Attorney Franklin Pilacy has stated that, quote, everyone knew we were paying the 2018 rate, the town council, the town manager, and the town lawyer. But no, there was never a public vote taken on continuing to pay Waterbury at the 2018 rate. In January of 2019, Waterbury filed suit against Watertown to collect the unpaid balance. In July of 2023, we lost that suit for a judgment of $18.8 million. As of August 30th, 2023, the legal fees for this lawsuit paid by the ratepayers total an incredible $454.11. That's close to $500,000, folks, that the ratepayers have paid to defend this lawsuit. The only people benefiting from this lawsuit, it seems to be, are the lawyers.
Anyone else?
Hello, Catherine Kammeroth, 31 Cottage Place in Oakville. I was not planning to attend. I might smell a little bit like onions. I was cooking and trying to watch this when I heard what Mr. DeCina had to say about FOI and the new records clerk. I don't know if he would remember this, but back when he was the deputy chief, I had to file a complaint against the records clerk over FOI for attacking me in an email that was a town email to complain about my requests. I have the investigation here, and I will read to you the last paragraph that was by Lieutenant Spencer Ceruto. In conclusion, the tone and in part the text of the emails sent by, I won't say her name, specifically, and I won't say the dates, that's okay, are unprofessional. The inclusion of personal opinions by public officials using governmental email on the possible budgetary effects of citizens exercising their legal rights is contrary to the philosophy of transparency and open government. A review of the departmental FOI procedures and the consideration of updated FOI-related training would help improve the compliance process. She was disciplined. And you think, oh, that was a long time ago, right? Bring it up now. Because it continues today. And in 2021, most of you might have attended, there were 2 sessions about FOI. One was FOI, and the other one was supposed to be something else, but it really reinforced FOI. And I believe a lot of town employees were asked to come. About a month ago, I was attacked on Facebook by a town employee. Now you might say, well, Facebook is outside of employment. No, it wasn't. She had a little wavy hand that said, hello, town employee. So by identifying herself as that and then addressing it as this, it's the same thing. So we have a problem with, and attacking that it's an expense. It's their job. I pay for the records. So it hasn't gotten better. We're still having an issue after having all this, what we paid for, by the way, a couple of $1,000s, the taxpayers paid for those, there was an attorney that came for this training, this FOI training. And we, the public, are still having issues. We're getting called out on Facebook about what our FOI. I will be filing a complaint, and I expect that that person is going to be disciplined as well, and should be even more so than the prior one, because this is getting ridiculous. I don't understand when this governmental body and these employees are going to understand that we are the people that pay them. Our tax money pays them. We want respect. We want our rights to be granted to us, not thrown in our faces, and certainly not publicly on Facebook having these things come out by, hi, town employee. It was really quite disturbing. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, oh, sorry. Yep.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Elizabeth Waszutynski. I live at 514 Sylvan Lake Road, and I'd like to talk about kindness. You all probably have the same piece of paper as I do in front of me. It's the agenda for tonight's meeting. And on my pages 2 and 3, there is a stamped information which says that this meeting will be an in-person meeting and will also be available via Zoom in listen-only mode. That's a wonderful thing, the devices that we're using. But I have a question which does concern kindness, namely, when I go to the Planning and Zoning Commission meetings, I know that the listen-in ability is given to members of the Planning and Zoning Commission if they can't come to the meeting in person. For example, in the last meeting, Mr. Demers was home and speaking to us, even though...
Excuse me. Could you lower your microphone a little bit?
Oh, sorry.
I can't hear you.
Is this better? Thank you.
Thank you.
That means you want to listen to me.
Yes.
I thank you. Anyway, the kindness that the Planning and Zoning Commission does offer to its members is that if they are not, for any reason, going to attend in person, then they can be at home, they can phone in, or however the contact is made, and their comments and their ability to make recommendations and their participation in voting on various recommendations is going to be as valid as being in the same room as the body itself. But what troubles me is that if an elderly person like me would like to participate in a town meeting, I, because of what is written on this paper, am perhaps going to be able to look, but I'm certainly not going to be able to participate. Nor, if we follow the rules as written on this piece of paper, even the members of the given commissions and committees are not going to be able to give their opinions, nor their recommendations, nor any kind of commentary. So I do trust that you are going to be kind in this question, that you're going to use common sense, and you're going to look at that the commentary that I have presented to you, and also your own experiences, and somehow make it a uniform opportunity to all members of our community that we can use the ability of the machinery to participate in a meeting, and that if we do want to speak up, that we will be able to be speaking even though we are only taxpayers and not members of a commission or a committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I will close public comment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a good night.
Recording stopped.